Okay, so I'm recording on my phone. Hopefully that will upload okay. I've tried on the computer a couple of times. So we're on our first content unit now, and the first content unit is background on the 19th century. And although I know this is a class on 20th century world history, it's impossible to just start with like 1900 as a start date, because honestly, things that were going to be happening in 1900 and 1910 and 1920 were impacted by things already going on in the late 1800s. So that's where we start. So for this unit, you have one chapter to read in the textbook, your textbook on the world in the 20th century. Let me look really quick. The name of the chapter, I have the book right here with me, is Setting the Stage Overview of the 19th Century. So we're going to be looking at empires and imperialism and competitions and society and political ideology. So it's a short chapter, but there's a lot going on in there. You also have just a couple of little short videos in the homework module and a couple of PowerPoints that will help with the content. So really, and this also will help with understanding the novel that you're reading, Things Fall Apart, because that's our next content unit, and you have the option of doing your PowerPoint project over that as well. So I would suggest that because you really only have a short reading for this week, that you probably want to get started on that novel. You have another 2 weeks for that once we finish this unit, but it'll be a good push, and especially if you want to get your research PowerPoint out of the way. So in the 19th century, end of the 19th century, you have European nations going out and creating colonies in Africa, and then you have new types of imperialism going on where it wasn't necessarily settlement colonies or creation of colonies, but there was still countries going out with imperialistic goals in places like Asia and Japan and in Latin America, where the US created a new type of imperialism there. You had the creation of, so with this came the creation of empires, and in the late 19th century you had the creation of new nation states as well, with the full creation for the first time of the German nation and the Italian nation. Political ideologies were changing, partially because of industrialization, because of imperialism. You have the growing strength of socialism and liberalism. And also along with these things, you have the rise of nationalism. And nationalism not just in a sense of patriotism, but really kind of an extremist idea that not only do I love my nation, but I believe my nation is better than all others. And I believe that I have to support them to not only support my nation, but to the detriment of other nations. All these things are really important to understand because they would all feed into issues that would come about in the 20th century. So that's why we start here. So you have, like I said, you have the one chapter to read in your textbook. You have a couple of short videos and supporting PowerPoints in the next part of the unit. I would suggest starting to read the novel. You have one quiz on this chapter, and then we'll have a discussion, also a discussion forum. So this is going to go quick, 1 week, so make sure you get started. And don't forget also that you have to get your introductory reflection paper done, and make sure to introduce yourself in the introduction forum. Ask me if you have any questions.